Welcome to another episode where we bring you conversations with extraordinary leaders, entrepreneurs, veterans, innovators who are making a real impact in the world. Jay Mancini, it's an honor to have you on here. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you very much, Dave. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, thank you. And thank you to Lynn Lauder, good friend, and you've known him. How long have you known Lynn Lauder? Vietnam Recon Marine that's here in Naperville?
Since 1969.
1969. So that's,
We've and we've stayed in touch all these years.
wow.
Lynn has been a guest in my home. My son Martin, when he was 6 years old, did a magic show for Lynn, which he still talks about.
Oh,
Um,
my gosh.
and he's very dear to me. Yeah, very close friend.
That is awesome. I love the story when he met Chesty Puller, which is pretty cool.
Oh, yes, that's right.
So thank you, Lynn, a friend of mine, not quite as long, but a good friend as well, and then Patriot and Marine as well. So let's start off with a intro. Jay has spent decades transforming skylines, leading billion-dollar developments, mentoring CEOs, and helping business leaders reach their full potential. Jay Mancini is a United States Marine combat Vietnam veteran, president of Mancini Mills, CEO and founder of GM Realty Ventures, and now serves with Vistage Chair, mentoring business owners and executives. Jay has led projects worth hundreds of millions of dollars, including the redevelopment of historic Rincon Center, Oakland City Center, San Francisco Executive Park, and helped complete 3 office buildings for Facebook. Let's get started. Lynn, or excuse me, Lynn, I'm calling you Lynn. Jay, did I leave anything off or that you'd like
Oh,
to add?
that's very complete.
Okay,
That's
and
yeah.
actually, you know what? You mentioned this earlier. Can you tell us a little bit about, you said you're married and kids right now as well?
Yeah, I have. I've been married for 33 years. I'm married up. My wife has 2 degrees in law and clerked for a federal judge.
Oh, nice.
Uh,
Okay.
and so that means I have smart children.
Okay.
Martin, who I just mentioned about the magic show, is a China scholar,
Oh,
actually.
wow.
He's a Mandarin speaker. He works for the 21st Century China Center. And has a master's degree from the School of Global Policy and Strategy at UC San Diego. And
Wow.
the other boy, John David, has a master's degree from the School of Advanced International Studies at Johns Hopkins, and he's in Malawi, Africa right now. Uh, he's working for a nonprofit based here in California.
Okay.
And among other things, he's teaching English as a second language. He's doing assessments to show donors how well they're teaching English, doing assessments on their microfinance program,
Wow.
well, how well that's doing. And he's also raised money to build a soccer pitch for the children. And he's and will be completed before he returns home in 2 months. So
Holy cow. Well,
uh,
I'm glad it's amazing how a lot of kids, and thank God your kids did as well, follow in their parents' footsteps when they're succeeding and making things happen when you're creating that vision that they could succeed, which is awesome. So congratulations, Jay.
thank you, Dave.
Absolutely. Let's start off. Where did you grow up and what was your family like when you were growing up?
Oh, so I grew up in San Mateo County,
Oh,
which
nice. Okay.
is very close to Silicon Valley, or even part of Silicon Valley today. I grew up in a upper middle class home, but my parents divorced when I was 7,
Okay.
and uh, in the end, that helped me. I went off to military school and high school, which helps explain how I got to the Marines
Okay.
later. Um, but I grew up uh, in a very nice way in San Mateo, California.
Nice, nice. Yeah, that's and back then people didn't really get divorced much, right? Not as
Didn't
much as
get
they
to,
do now. I said back then people didn't really get to divorce as much as they do now.
that's correct. So divorce was very, I know my mother was, just felt terrible about it.
Right.
I think they both did. But yeah, it was sort of uh, not quite a scarlet letter, but it it was a demerit for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. And how many years did you serve in the Marine Corps?
I was in active duty for 3 years,
3 years?
and then I was in the inactive reserves for 3 years.
Awesome, awesome. A little bit later during the show, I want to ask you about a few missions, but we'll get there in 1 second.
Sure.
Uh, and you mentioned this briefly that you went to military academy, but why did you wind up joining the Marine Corps?
Um, that's really a good question. When I was in my first year in college, I decided I was going to solve my first job after college,
Okay.
and I went around and talked to the Air Force, the Army, the Navy, and the Marines, and um, everybody but the Marines said, "Well, you can be a supply officer, a communications officer, but you can't drive a ship, you can't fly a plane, and you can't be in a combat arm if you're in the Army because of my eyesight."
Oh, okay. Got
Then
it.
I wore glasses.
Okay.
And when I went around to the Marine recruiter, he said, "Well, we'll buy you all the glasses you need. Uh, we're not worried about that. And by the way, while you're here, why don't you take a test? But just,
Oh, wow.
why don't we just see how you do?" And so I did that and said, "Oh, this is great. I've got a wonderful program for you. Lots of exercise and sunshine, and you'll be in Virginia, and you'll do it 2 summers during college, and you'll love it." And he said, "I see you're a wrestler in college and high school. Wrestlers don't wash out in this program,
Nice.
so don't worry about that. Just go and." And so
Okay.
anyway, I did it and finished my 2 6-week summers and was commissioned uh, in the spring of 1968.
1960. Now, did you go in enlisted or did you go in officer, OCS?
So it was an OCS program.
It was
It's
OCS. Okay.
called the platoon leader class.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And so I was commissioned second lieutenant upon graduation.
Awesome. Awesome. That's great. And what was the most valuable lesson you learned while you were in the Marine Corps?
Uh, no question. The lesson I learned all had to do with servant leadership.
Okay.
Um, if you take care of your men, they will surely take care of you. Um, and we succeed as a team, we fail as a team. Uh, Although if we fail as a team, it's probably because I didn't prepare you well enough.
Right.
That's my responsibility.
Correct.
But if we succeed as a team, we're all heroes. No one individual is a hero. We're all heroes. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Did you have that servant leadership right out of OCS when you were a second lieutenant? Or did you have to learn it while you were going?
Um, I think we learned it while we were, I mean, it was certainly had an imprint while I was in OCS, but once I arrived in Vietnam with an infantry battalion to begin with,
Okay.
I was learning that for sure
Yeah.
every day. Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't really learn that in a class application, right? It has to be
No,
real world, right? Yeah.
that's real world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that's why a lot of a lot of people in corporate are missing that, right?
I the thing that I find as I coach CEOs, for example, is that they're used to sometimes to sort of top down command and control,
Right.
as opposed to let's build this team up. Um, I'm the team leader, uh, but I'm here to help you all get better. Uh,
Right.
and it's not about me; it's about all of us together. Um, And in fact, in a way, I'm working for you. My job is to make you all better. If we all get better, the team is going to do well, the company will do well.
Right. I think employees and as long as they know they're appreciated and respected and part of the team, they're going to do more, right? So,
I would completely agree. Um,
what was the biggest challenge while you were in the Marine Corps?
well, when I first arrived, I mean, I flew into Vietnam in January of 1969,
Okay.
about 2 weeks after the Rose Bowl.
Oh, wow.
And one week one day after I arrived, I'm 24 hours later, I'm standing in front of an infantry platoon, and they're looking at me very skeptically.
It's like, who is
Very,
this? Who is this boot lieutenant? What the hell are you doing
oh,
here?
oh my gosh. And I thought, oh, how am I going to measure up to this? And while I was sort of taking all this in and introducing myself, the XO came down and said, okay, Mancini, you're going to take out the patrol tomorrow night, right? And so it was, I mean, they wanted to, make me operational as rapidly as they could,
Feet to
right?
the fire right away. Yeah.
Right. And so within about 2 weeks, I was under fire for the first time. And but frankly, I mean, it took me several months to win the confidence of the men. Uh,
Okay.
um, you know, they had to see me, call in artillery. They had to see me um, maneuver the platoon. They had to see me go from fighting position to fighting position to talk to them at night. And it wasn't until I had demonstrated some level of competence that I could see they were all in,
Okay.
and went from skeptical to, supportive.
That's good. That didn't take very long though, which is great. So they saw something in you right away, which is
Well,
really
I
good.
wouldn't, I would say, I don't
Oh,
think it's quite right
you,
away. I
you
mean,
said a couple weeks, right?
no, 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 a couple of months,
Couple
several
months. Okay,
months.
I thought you said a couple
Yeah,
weeks. Okay,
yeah,
got it, got
several
it.
months.
All
Yeah.
right. So you served as a Marine infantry officer and in special ops as well. Can you share two missions that made a difference or impact on your life?
Yeah. So, uh, so I began, I was with a battalion landing team.
Okay.
We first we were guarding part of Highway 1, and then we boarded ships, and we started running amphibious ops along the South Vietnamese coast.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And, we would, the very first one, I was up on the bridge. We were the reserve company, and the ships went to general quarters at 0400, and ammunition's being passed out. Everybody's getting breakfast, and uh, boats away at 7:30, 07:30. Of course, they're not boats; they're tractors.
Right, right.
Headed toward the beach, and there's a tin can pounding the beach, and then two companies of uh, helicopter-borne troops flying in, and watching this whole thing. It was a picture perfect Marine I mean, it was just remarkable. It was so complicated. Um, and the next day we went in. Not long after, I was leading a patrol, and we ran into an ambush, actually a Claymore ambush.
Oh, man.
And so you can imagine how desperately hurt everybody was. And so I was going from man to man, trying to keep people alive with my corpsmen. And that's probably the worst day of my life.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
Uh, and uh, uh, yeah, so that was a very, very hard day.
How many men got hit on that, Jay?
Eight,
Eight.
eight
Okay.
were badly wounded.
Oh,
One
my
died.
gosh. Wow.
7 made it to the mass evacuation hospital, but
Okay.
where I think they kept them all going. And then the BLT, the Battalion Landing Team, we ran four amphibious ops along the coast.
Okay.
We were, in a way, the strategic reserve for I Corps.
Okay.
Wherever there was a hot spot, we would steam to it, offload the next day, and go try to find the bad guys. At a certain point in the late summer of '69, they decided to take the battalion and put it back on ashore, put it ashore, send the ships back to Pearl Harbor. And I had taken over the reconnaissance platoon that was attached to the battalion.
Okay.
That officer had rotated home, and I volunteered to take over the position, and I was chosen. But when the battalion went home, or the battalion went to land-based duties only, my platoon got switched to the First Force Reconnaissance Company.
Oh, wow.
And that's where I met Lynn Lauder and our mutual friend. And then we started running long-range patrols, deep penetration patrols out toward the Ho Chi Minh Trail system. And I think the most dangerous of those was when we were. I had a 7-man team, and we were headed out to the helicopter to take off, and we were going to go out into the mission was to go out into out to the very easternmost portion of the Ho Chi Minh Trail system,
Okay.
and get up on a ridge and observe what was happening, because there was a valley below, and they knew there were NVA infantry coming down on a road in the
Got it.
valley.
Yep.
So we were going to conduct an artillery ambush on these folks. So as I'm headed up to the helicopter, the S3 comes out and says, "By the way, Lieutenant, you're headed into heavy weather. The helicopter will be able to get you in, but after that, it's going to be in monsoon-like conditions."
Oh, wow.
So anyway, we landed all right. We proceeded. It was about a 25-minute flight. I got into in the cockpit with the pilots, and we agreed that was the site to put me down, and so we make the insertion. They take off, and we start heading up this ridge. As we get to the top of the ridge, this rainstorm moves in. This front moves in, and very quickly visibility disappeared. It was raining so hard. Visibility was about 20 feet.
Oh, my gosh.
It was, and so the men were. So we were 7 of us. So one person could be at night, one person could be on the radio, and then 6 of us could sleep. And I put 3 groups of 2, so they can keep body warmth, because we were sleeping in water. And we could hear during the day, we could hear rifle shots down on that what we thought was a roadway, as the trail monitors were signaling ahead that a unit had passed, and so we knew there was activity down there. And as but we were completely socked in. Couldn't adjust artillery if I tried, because we literally couldn't see more than 20, 25 feet in front of us. Gradually, the storm lifted, and we again, we were hearing a little more clearly now, because we didn't have the rain. We were hearing these rifle shots, and we could hear a little movement down in the valley. So I radioed in that we couldn't see much, though, because a fog, sort of a low level sort of fog bank had come in under, between us and visibility in the valley. And so I radioed in and said, we're still having trouble. And by the way, this is now, we're supposed to be out 5 days. This is day 6 or 7, and we're out of chow too. So they said, why don't you go back to the LZ, and we'll come pick you up once the weather clears a bit more. So we went down to we became a bit disoriented, and the way those maps are constructed are from photographs, right? And so sometimes the tree canopy goes flat when in fact there's a dip beneath it, right? So very quickly I came to understand we were I couldn't quite find our way back. So I knew where there was a river, and I said, let's go down the river. We could follow the river if we need to. So we went down to the river, and they were flying a helicopter out to see if they could spot us. So we had air panels, which are big pieces of fabric. And so I crossed the stream and I put my men on line to cover me. And I crossed the stream and tried to put those panels out. But they flew over and didn't see them. So that said, we then proceeded back up, to where we had come from, and the tail end Charlie stops the patrol with a signal that somebody is following us. So I go back actually and talk to him. He said, "Sir, after we started up, I looked back. 2 NVA soldiers came out of that thicket where you were just in front of that thicket. There were 2 NVA soldiers in that thicket, and they then walked out and came across the river and are following us." So I said, "Okay, well let's move up here. We're going to find an ambush site." But of course, the people who were following us figured that out, so they pulled out of that. But then I called all that in, and so they said, "We're going to do an emergency extraction because you've got people following you now." And we both, the S3 and I'm talking to the S3, he knew and I knew that ridgeline where we were was going to be crawling with NVA patrols within 24 hours, right, looking for us. So we all had a parachute harness that was sewn into our web gear. And we all had so this is a spy rig extraction technique where the helicopter will drop down a line of all of, woven together a helicopter harness with big D rings in it. And we all had helicopter harness, and we could make things would connect. And we also had in our gear, we had these D rings and rope, and so we could connect into the line that was being sent down to us. So the next morning, they flew out a CH 46 and with 2 Cobra gunships, and so I'm talking to the pilots, and I said, "Well, we've been hearing rifle shots around us all night. I think the bad guys want us not to move, I think." So they made it seem like there was a perimeter around us. Several, but nobody had approached us. Yeah. So I said, "I think, we may take fire going out. I don't know, but we may take fire going out." So they said, "Okay, we'll pop the smoke." We did. They dropped this line down, and we all connected in. I was the last one to connect in, and pulled us up straight through the canopy. And we were all, rifles at the ready. Pulled us up to the canopy and up to about 2,000 feet, and we're all dangling under the helicopter. We don't get sort of rolled back into the helicopter. You're not pulled into the helicopter, you're dangling. And we made it was about a 20-minute flight, 25-minute flight to a fire base. Um, and of course they let us down slowly, and from there we got back to our base camp. But that was the most thrilling of my patrols with the force company. Dave, I can't quite hear you. Are you?
One second. Can
There we go.
you hear me now? Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
just perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, you were probably thinking we're not going to get out of here.
I was thinking we were, I was praying.
Right, right. I can imagine. Yeah.
I
Thank God.
definitely, I
Thank
definitely was
God you guys
praying.
got out okay. Yeah.
Oh
Did
yeah,
did you guys take any fire when you got on the line or no?
we did not.
Okay,
Uh,
good, good. All right.
and in a
Awesome.
way, I think everybody was so miserable out there. They were, we were. Uh, yeah, I was expecting fire,
Okay.
but we did not. Of course, the Cobras were circling, two of them, and I'm sure that the notion of that suppressive fire was helpful.
100%. Well, I'm glad you made it out, Jay. Yeah, it must have been a little
Yeah,
hairy. It's like, uh-oh, here we go.
yeah,
So I know in the Marine Corps, we all strive to stay in physical fitness, right? Are you still doing physical fitness, nutrition, to keep your body and mentally strong as well nowadays?
yes. It's good that you asked that. Uh, I try to get to the gym 3 to 4 days a week,
Okay, awesome.
and I do. I try to do 45 minutes on the exercise cycle. Try to go as hard as I can. I then I do a plank for at least 2 minutes.
Nice.
I do 40 to 50 push-ups. I do curls. I do sit-ups. Um, I do squats.
Okay.
I'm fairly fit for my age. And so mentally, I find it's absolutely imperative for me to stay mentally fit. I have to be physically fit.
Exactly. Yeah, I try to do something, 3 or 4 days out of the week as well. And if I ever miss, if my body just feels terrible, my mind doesn't feel the same. So I
I
think it,
completely,
I think
completely agree. So I went, knowing I was going to have an interview with you today, Dave. I went to the gym first thing. So
oh, nice. There you go.
right,
Unfortunately, I told you some other stuff I'm dealing with this morning. So after I'm done here, that's where I'm going to work out. So
right, good.
because
Okay.
I definitely need it. Let me tell you, brother.
Oh, I know you do. I know you do, Dave.
Uh,
Mm.
so talk to me a little about PTS and TBI. Did you struggle with that? And if you did, what did you do to overcome it or get better?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, I have post-traumatic stress, uh, and uh, tell you a story when uh, 9/11 happened.
Okay.
I didn't look at any footage. I didn't look in the newspaper. I just knew it had happened.
Okay.
And within, uh, 12, 24 hours, I was sinking into a deep depression.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And Marion, my wife, she could see this, and she said, "I'm taking you to a doctor." Right.
Oh, wow.
So she found somebody. We went over there, and he said, "Well, tell me about yourself." And I said, "Well, I'm in the real estate development business, and I was an infantry officer in Vietnam." He said, "Oh, well, you're the third one in the last 2 weeks."
Holy cow. Wow.
And he said, "What you all have is, in the back of even if you're not conscious of it, your subconscious is working on all those memories from the war."
Right.
And what it's like when something, big traumatic event happens, it's like being under fire again. And he said, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to, I do happen to have a medication that will help, but
Okay.
more important than that, I want you to be, I want you to get serious cardiovascular
Yep.
exercise if you can every day.
Nice.
And if you do that, we can control this.
Okay.
And primarily that's how I've dealt with
Yeah.
just trying to stay fit. Um, uh, but yeah, I definitely have had post-traumatic stress. Um, when uh, when I came home, I called them my 10 dark years.
Okay.
It was very difficult for me to I did function. I went to business school. I graduated from business school,
Oh,
got an
wow.
MBA.
Okay.
I managed to function at some level, but my judgment was impaired. I was drinking heavily,
Okay.
um, but it all lifted at a certain point, and I was better. So,
That's
uh,
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah. I think the key thing is for people to always remember that you have a new day the next day, right? It's not going to always be like that. It took you a while to get over it, but
right.
a lot of people I've had on, I've had special ops, other special ops guys on here as well, and working out is a big factor for them, right? Some have done psychedelics, some have done umbilical cord stem cells, hyperbaric chambers.
Oh,
What's the
well,
other one? Stella ganglion. So there's a lot of solutions out there, right?
yeah,
I encourage everyone just keep looking. Remember, you're not the only one going through this, right? Everyone I've talked to has gone through this. Literally, pretty much everyone on the show, right? So just think about all your teammates and everyone you serve with. Most of them have gone through it as well. So just keep moving forward. Find a solution like we were trained to in the military, right? Find a solution to make yourself better. So thank you for that, Jay. Thank you so much.
you bet.
And then Lynn also has that his non-for-profit, right? To a lot of people when they get out, this is perfect timing because I was going to ask you how did you get into real estate, but a lot of people when they get out, they don't know
Right,
what to do and they lose that mission, right? It's like, what's my next mission, right?
right,
So
exactly.
so Lynn with his veteran business project, helps you acquire a business that's going to be profitable, that someone's retiring or moving on or whatever, and you're able to take over a business, and that could be your new mission as well. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Uh, so talk to us. You said you went to business school. What did you do right after business school, Jay?
So, actually, I got into, I was on the waiting list at University of Pennsylvania's Wharton School, and
Okay.
I called up and I said I'd like to speak with I'd like to speak with I'm flying in from San Francisco this coming Friday. I'd like to speak with the Dean of Admissions on Saturday.
Okay.
And the nice woman at the other end said, "Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Mancini. He he doesn't do that on Saturday." I said, "Well, would you go ask him? Would
Right.
that be all right? Would you go ask him?
Nice.
I'm flying. I'm coming in from California. It's a long trip. I really would like to speak to the Dean of Admissions." And she she was sort of flustered and said, "All right," and put the phone down. And there was a long silence. I mean, it was several minutes, and then she returned and she said, "Well, I'm surprised, but he will see you.
Nice. That's awesome.
He will see you, and so you come here to come to our building here at Penn at 10 o'clock on Saturday morning."
Okay.
So I arrived 10 o'clock, 1000 hours on Saturday morning, coat, tie, suit, and uh, he was a little annoyed that he was there. He was, but
I
anyway,
can imagine. You made me come in on a Saturday.
yeah,
Yeah.
you made me come in on a Saturday, and he was in kind of a track. He'd been jogging or something, right? So
Okay. Yep.
so here I am, and so I thanked him, and he sort of interrogated me, and he became very interested in my Marine Corps background.
Oh,
Uh,
interesting. Okay.
and he said, we really like veterans here. And so I kept exploring that and trying to make that a connection. And finally, at the end, I've been there probably a little over an hour. talking, and we were beginning to enjoy each other. And I said, well, sir, I've come a long way. I'd like to know if I'm going to be admitted. And he said, yeah, you're admitted. I said,
Nice.
I said, wait a minute. I said, isn't there a committee? He said, no, I'm the committee.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
you are consider yourself admitted. You'll be getting a letter. Um, so the Marine Corps sort of, uh, you know, when in doubt, attack, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah. But
So I took the initiative to, because I thought getting off the waiting list might be a problem.
okay.
And he took me off the waiting list. Anyway, so I did 2 years in business school. I then went to work for a real estate development company in
Okay.
the area, and then began to proceed up to other, bigger companies. And what I discovered was that big real estate projects are really all about team building.
Exactly. Yep.
And of course, what we had been trained was team building.
Right.
So I became uh, pretty competent at putting together a team to do large scale real estate development.
Nice.
Um, and so that's what I did. And as you alluded to earlier, I uh, did a number of very large projects with companies. And the last one with 3 office buildings for Facebook was my own company.
Okay. Nice.
We completed that in conjunction with the Bohanna Development Company and a and Alexander Real Estate Equities. I'm searching for the name. Alexander Real Estate Equities was our equity partner,
Okay.
and it was it's the best. Uh, I think sometimes we know that phrase is 10,000 hours if you do anything. Well, it's at least 10,000 hours.
Wow.
By the time I had gotten to that sort of problem, it was almost instinctive. And I was able to form 4 teams, construction, finance, design, and leasing. And I could pick the leaders for each team. And then my job was to make the team leaders better and support them. And I had everybody in a big room where I could hear all the conversations.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that way I could intervene if there was some issue coming up.
Nice. That's good.
And I had a very good sense of what everybody was dealing with, doing it that way. Um, and so it was a very successful project. The office buildings actually came in under budget and on time, which almost never happens in large scale real estate development. But it wasn't because of me, it was because of the teams.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
I had learned how to form teams and supervise teams beginning with the Marine Corps. And so that was my secret weapon, really, that really came from the Marine Corps.
That's amazing, right?
Yeah,
And
right.
that was and then you learned that where you see if I could talk here. You learned that in the Marine Corps, which was not at the business schools, which is kind of interesting, right?
You learned that in the Marine Corps, the business school. Uh, you learn how to present numbers.
Right, exactly. But
Yeah,
you do need the business school as well. So yeah, for
you
sure.
need both. Yeah.
Right, 100%. And what was the largest deal you did in commercial real estate, like total?
Oh, the 3 office building complex, it was $550 million budget, all
Nice.
uh,
Okay.
finance with debt and equity, and 3 office buildings, 3 garages, um, and a lot of landscaping. So
Oh my
it was
gosh.
on
Yeah.
16 acres. So it was a big project. It's actually at Marsh Road and 101 in Menlo Park,
Okay. Yep.
California, and it's
Yep.
a 100% location with great architecture, and we executed it well. So I'm very proud of it.
That's awesome. Congratulations. Uh,
Mhm.
so basically, we talked a little bit about this before we started as well. With I could only imagine with that large of a team, the 80-20 rule, right? How do you deal with 80% of the people that are not contributing?
Um, well, if the leaders are good,
Okay.
uh, and are practicing servant leadership, then the team performs, right? The team performs. If we, we had no patience for mediocrity.
Okay.
If in fact there was something mediocre in performance occurring with an individual, he'd be counseled. He might be counseled twice,
Okay.
and then he'd be let go.
Okay. Got it.
So mediocrity destroys morale.
Yeah.
So you can't permit that. So we weeded out the mediocre, but the teams all performed at a very, very high level.
Is there a way to avoid, besides what you mentioned, getting rid of those people? I mean, obviously, if you're going to bring in new people, will that 80-20 rule ever? Can you change that? Or because I've talked to other people and they say it's really hard to change, or you can't change it.
It's hard to change, but with 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 the right leadership. Um, Now imagine we're all working very closely together, right?
Okay.
We're not separated in different buildings.
Got it.
Uh, they're being compensated well. We're working in very close proximity. So the standard of performance as being demonstrated by the leaders was high. And I hope in my case also high.
Okay.
So that has a profound effect. If there's good leadership, people tend to rise. If you create a vision that people and a mission that people can understand, and then an operational plan to succeed in the mission, and you can create a culture of trust and a culture of accountability, the teams will rise to that level.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, that makes sense. And especially if you've been in the industry a long time, you know the people that are going to perform, right? You know the leaders that'll deliver, right? So
You know who will deliver. That's right.
right. So you got to make sure you hire the right people that will deliver that you've worked with in the past. I think when you're first starting a company, it's probably a little difficult to figure that out. It may take years, but
But it's very difficult when you're starting. But if I mean, I brought in people I'd known for decades.
yeah.
And so therefore I had a really excellent team right from the get-go.
Right. Right. Yeah.
But if you're in a startup, and you're 28 years old, it's very, very, very difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that really took me by surprise after getting out of the Marine Corps, Jay, is that I thought everyone performed great, right?
Right.
But then I looked back, it's like, wait a minute, did everyone perform great in the Marine Corps? No.
Not always. Yeah.
But I even asked a gentleman that was on SEAL Team 6. I go, did everybody perform great? He goes, no. Right. So
Yeah.
it's so that's good. I think the experience and getting to know the right people. So right. So that guy came back on and he was building his own team. He would cherry pick the right ones to make sure it was really successful. So
Right.
uh so let's talk a little bit about Vistage. We already did a little bit. And I think you may have answered this already too. What separates great CEOs from average CEOs?
Oh, that's a really great question. Having leadership presence and having moral authority separates the great ones from the average ones.
Okay.
And what do I mean by that?
Yeah.
Uh, I believe if you have five traits, you you attain moral authority, which means people will follow you willingly. In fact,
Okay.
they're very interested in knowing what it is we're supposed to do today because they're ready to go.
Right.
And those five traits are humility, integrity, confidence, competence, and courage.
Nice.
And the basis for moral courage is really integrity.
Okay.
But if an individual has those five traits, I found that person is acknowledged as a true leader, and people really want to line up behind real leadership.
And the people that don't have that, can those principles be learned?
They can be learned,
They can be. Okay.
can be learned. Um, but it begins with, integrity and humility. Um,
Okay. That's a
uh,
tough one to learn though.
those are harder.
Right. Yeah.
But confidence and competence, those things can be learned. Um, uh, and if you have integrity, as I said, you can demonstrate moral courage.
There you go. Okay. And what's the biggest blind spot? Is that the same principles that the CEOs have? The biggest blind spots that they don't see?
I think the largest blind spot is uh, not understanding how to create a culture of trust. Uh,
Okay.
quite. Um, and you create a culture of trust in your team, first of all, by being able to explain to everybody what the mission is, right? What the vision is. And then here's the plan that connects with the mission. Um, and then I'm going to hold everybody accountable, and I'm going to hold myself accountable too. And if I make a mistake, I'm going to let you know.
Right.
We are all in this together. And if you do that, you begin to create a culture of trust. And of course, it particularly occurs again when the leader has moral authority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how often should that communication be done? Because I think a lot of people may do it once or twice, but forget about it throughout the year, right?
Oh no, that's weekly.
Weekly. There you go.
That's
Okay.
weekly. So, I would have a meeting every Monday or Tuesday, and we'd talk about what the mission was, what the plan was for
Right.
that week.
Yeah.
Uh, so everybody was clear on what it is we're trying to accomplish.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I think people need to be informed. I've been at different corporations. It's like they just leave you hanging. It's like you have no idea. I mean, I knew what I had to do to get my job done, but some other people are just like, hey, what do I do or what's going on, right? They had no clue. So I think that's extremely important.
It's really
Uh,
helpful if everybody on the team, everybody in the company, really understands how their piece of their work contributes to the overall success of the operational plan that gets to the mission, right?
right.
That's what creates high morale.
What's my
You're
what's my
you're
what,
important.
what's my purpose? What's my mission? Yeah, exactly.
And
Right.
boy, are we glad that you're here,
Right. There you
performing at
go.
the level you're performing. Right.
That's true. So you're still doing the commercial real estate and the Vistage, correct? You're doing both at the same
Yes, I
time? Okay.
am. I mostly today we just we own some property and we collect rent. Vistage is where I'm really spending time. Uh, I've got 10 CEOs. They're from 38 to 79. The 79-year-old is a downhill racer
Oh
at
wow.
Squaw Valley. He
No
races
way. Oh my gosh,
races
79 years
competitive
old.
races
Wow.
competitively. And he's an Army veteran.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And the 38-year-old has just become, within the last year, he's become a CEO. And
Okay.
he's the only hired gun. Everybody else is an owner of some sort in the business. So,
Okay. All right. Awesome. That's great. And
yeah.
then people could just reach out to you on your website to if they want to sign up for the program.
Well, just look me up on my LinkedIn page,
Okay.
and then there's information there about how to
Awesome. I'll make sure I put that on the podcast once I publish it as well. So,
sure.
uh, why is mentoring so important to you, Jay?
Well, um, I've had some success in life,
Okay,
and it's a way to give back.
got it.
Um, and the way we conduct, we meet once a month all day, and I meet with each individual up to 2 hours
Oh, wow.
before
Holy
each
cow.
meeting,
Okay,
and I'll bring in a speaker as well. And then in the afternoon, we will, in sort of a case study format, we will take on issues that somebody might have. There could be brand diminishment, market share eroding. It could be a morale problem in the company. It could be, what do I do about my HR function? What do I do about my operational function? I think my vice president of operations is maybe not performing as well as I'd like. What do I do about it? All sorts of issues. Most of them are strategic, and so we will attack them. Everybody will comment. As I said, it's presented in a case study format, and then by the end of an hour, we'll try to get to some options for somebody to pursue. And then that person is responsible and is accountable for coming back and reporting what he or she did.
Nice.
In 30 days.
Love it.
And we do this all in confidence. Everybody signs a document saying everything that's discussed they will not disclose to anybody else.
Nice.
And so it's a very, I get tremendous satisfaction counseling.
I love it. Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity, great service, because if you could learn from someone that's been down the road already and very successful, it's like you need to take advantage of that, right? To be able to, instead of just trying to figure it out on your own, making errors, going here and there, and it's like, you know what? Here's someone that's done it. Here's someone that could teach you how to do it. Follow the blueprint, follow the mission plan, whatever you want to call it, and you could succeed as well. So I think that's great. Did you have good mentors as well, Jay, growing up?
Well, that's a very good question. I had coaches.
Okay.
I played football and wrestled. I had some pretty good coaches. And I had a friend of mine older friend, who took me under his wing. And it really wasn't counseling about business. It was counseling about life.
Okay.
And how to conduct your life properly.
Got it.
Yes, so I did have one mentor.
Okay, but never for business, huh?
Never for business. No.
You just kind of worked on your own for other firms, and you learned and watched. That's good.
Right. So one of the things about the commercial world is, unlike the armed forces, people don't have your back necessarily.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
You're just another competitor.
Right.
And so, whereas the culture we came from, everybody has your back. They're truly a team. And one of the ironic things, because of that, veterans don't interview well, generally. They have to be taught to interview because they're all about team.
Exactly. That's true.
Right?
You're right.
Actually, the interviewer wants to know how terrific are you, right? And that person is, no, I was part of the team. That's why we were good, right? I mean, you have to learn to do that. But I found that the commercial world, it was very difficult to have somebody who was on your side, really.
Interesting. Yeah, I never heard that about veterans, and
Mm-hmm.
I was always a top performer, but not a great interviewer. Once they brought me on, it's like, holy crap, you're really kicking butt, But
Yeah, right.
my interviews weren't that great, so that's interesting you said that. So
Yeah, right.
what accomplishment are you most proud of in business or whatever you've done?
Oh, in business, it would be the 3 office building complex that we completed for Facebook.
Okay.
But in life, the greatest honor I ever got was to be commissioned the 2nd lieutenant of Marines.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
The greatest mission I was ever given was to raise a family and to, be a successful husband and father. Which takes, as you know, that's not always easy, right?
Yeah,
So
that's hard work as well. Yeah.
and that's wonderful work, but it's hard. And so I'm proudest of my wife and my two children.
That's awesome. Love it, Jay. Thank you.
Yeah.
What would surprise people about you, Jay, that they don't know about? Anything?
Oh, um, uh, I'm I've just turned 80,
Oh,
uh,
wow.
of all things.
Awesome.
And I'm an open water swimmer in the San Francisco Bay.
Oh, no way. Wow. Okay.
And I've got a coach. Uh, she's my goddaughter, actually. She was a varsity athlete at the University of California, Berkeley, and so at Aquatic Park we will go swimming, and it is such a. And once you adjust to the chop and the chill, all you can see are this wonderful sort of tableau of ships passing and sailboats passing and seagulls flying overhead and people on the beach and where there is a little beach. It's just a thrill, and I love doing that.
That's
Uh,
awesome. That's incredible.
yeah,
It's you know what? It's great to be out in nature, especially out swimming. Were you always a strong swimmer?
I was always a good swimmer. Yeah,
Okay.
but swimming in the bay is, I mean, you have
Yeah,
to
it's totally
adjust
different.
to.
Yeah.
It's a little different. You have to get your head out of the water to breathe further than you would in the pool,
Right.
and your stroke is more exaggerated because of the
Okay.
chop. Um, but once you do all that, it's and then you can sort of get on your back and swim a little bit and just observe everything. It's really wonderful. Yeah.
Did you ever have any big fish or anything bump against you while you're swimming out there?
No, no, no,
No?
no, no,
Okay.
not yet,
All
not
right.
yet. No, there.
Figured maybe like a seal or sea lion or something
Well,
like that.
there's some seals out there, that's for sure.
Not Navy SEALs, real SEALs.
Real seals. That's right.
Uh, how would you define success today versus when you were in your 30s?
Oh, um, success then was really all about um, accomplishment in business, moving forward in my career. Success now is uh, how healthy are my children,
There you
right?
go. Yeah.
Emotionally, and of course physically. How healthy is my family? And and as I'm trying to give back to these CEOs, am I having the impact that I should be having? Am I really helping them? Um, uh, it's a success has a bigger um, it's a bigger arena now
Right.
than it was then. It was much smaller, um, and this is more holistic and um, more based on trying to give back to people.
It's amazing how our perspective changes the younger we get, right? So
Right. Right.
the more gray hair we get, it's like, hey, wait a minute.
Right. Right.
Did faith play a role in your success, and does faith come into play with your family as well?
Oh, yes. We're a faith-based family. Um, as we know, there are no atheists in the foxhole.
Yes, exactly.
We prayed a lot while we were in Vietnam. But you know, um, we the boys were baptized. Um, we went to church as a family,
Nice.
and so I think that's a real foundation for a family. That old motto of or old saying that family prays together stays together. Well, there's
Right.
something to that, right? There's something to
100%.
that.
And
Yeah,
you learn a lot of morals and values there too, right?
and
They
there's
could be
a lot of
they could be applicable to business.
absolutely right. Yeah,
Awesome. I love it. And do you have like a daily like workout for faith or no?
I do. Yeah, I do. I have I um, I have a prayer habit,
Yep.
and I'll when I wake up, I will pray. And then in my commute, which is about 35 minutes, I can uh, I can recite the rosary actually. So
Nice.
I
Okay.
try to do something while I'm driving. And so by the time I get to the office, I feel connected in the correct way.
Yeah, that I do the same thing. I pray, read the Bible first thing before I get out of bed, right? To make sure you're starting
Right.
your day off right. And I think that makes a huge difference on your perspective, the way you're going through the day, kind of like working out, right?
It
So I think
is.
so. I think
Reading
that
reading the Beatitudes, for example, that's really how to conduct your life. That's a very powerful thing to read. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, it's amazing how many people follow the same footprint that you're mentioning. So thank you for that.
sure.
Speaking of reading, did you have a most influential book?
Do I have a what?
The
Sorry.
most influential book you read?
Oh, um, well, I'd gotten to know Jim Stockdale, who was the prisoner of war who won the Medal of Honor in Vietnam,
Oh
and
wow. Okay.
he was down at the Hoover Institution at Stanford, and uh, I'd gotten to know him socially, and I called him up. There was a real estate recession, and I all of a sudden didn't have anything to do, so I called up the admiral and down to Stanford and said, "I'd love to come down and see you." He said, "Well, sure, come on down." And said, "Really, what I would like to understand is what's your reading list, Admiral? What is it? What kept you going when you were in Vietnam?" He said, "Well, when I was on the aircraft carrier, I had only three books: the Iliad, the Odyssey, and the Discourses by Epictetus." Uh, I had read the Iliad, the Odyssey, but I hadn't read the Discourses by Epictetus,
Okay.
and it's a Stoic framework um, for beginning to understand, the things you can't control, don't worry about,
Nice.
which takes a lot of discipline to get there. But I've read the Discourses by Epictetus, who was a Greek philosopher, had been a Roman slave, and then was released by his master, and he went back to Greece. And uh, aristocratic Romans, he taught a school on a hillside, and these Romans would come and listen to him. And the discourses were there was a student there. He must have been writing in a code, but he was able
Okay.
to get all of his lectures, as it were, um, down, and that's what was published, the Discourses by Epictetus. And I found it to be really profound. It really has helped me a lot.
That's awesome. Love it. Thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
Uh, what's your biggest business mistake you ever made?
Oh, um, I I was involved with so when we were doing the Rincon Center project, I was really, for that responsibility, I was really too young. I was like 37 or 38.
Okay.
Um, and the, um, and we were doing as I learned later, this was probably not the way to do a big mixed use project, design, build, fast track, which means the drawings are being done just ahead of the building.
Oh wow. Okay.
And so um, the drawings, once they're published, they may not be fully coordinated with mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and so forth. And they weren't. Uh,
Okay.
and so what I learned from that was that, um, and you think this big company would have understood that, actually. They
Right.
put
Right.
me in this position where I was executing on design, build, fast track. Um, and what we should have been doing was something that we practiced at my last project, which is integrated project delivery, which is uh, you select the contractor, um, you and the contractor and all the consultants work together, making certain every package of the drawings are coordinated with each other. And that, we can produce these at the, the best cost, right?
Okay.
Which may not be the least cost, but the best cost to stay within the budget. So I hadn't learned that yet. And because of that, we went way over budget.
Oh, wow.
And it was a very emotionally difficult time. I was working 80 hours a week. At one point, I'd worked, I think, 26 weekends in a row straight
Holy
through.
cow. Wow.
And needless to say, I was getting burned out. It was very different from when we did the 3 office building complex. There was no stress. I mean, we were ahead of every problem. And we saved quite a lot of money, actually, because we had, in pre-construction, we discovered where all the issues were.
Okay.
And we had budgeted in a way to for problems to occur.
Okay.
But if we solve the problems, then we save the budget.
There you go. Yeah.
And so, but yeah, that was the biggest campaign where I was really I was put in a position I couldn't win.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And with the new projects, you probably got a lot more sleep now.
I did, right. I've slept really well.
That's actually a very important part of health as well, by the way.
Oh no, so sleep, nutrition, and exercise. Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're getting close to wrapping up here. One last question I want to ask you, then we'll close out, if that's okay.
Sure.
If you were 20 years from, imagine it's 20 years from now, people are talking about Jay Mancini. What do you hope they say?
I hope they would say he was really a wonderful father and husband.
Nice. I love it. Awesome, Jay. You're an incredible man. I'm glad I get to meet you a little bit more. It's been an incredible conversation. Thank you for serving in the Marine Corps. Like I said, it's been an absolute honor to have you on. Thank you for your sacrifice, your leadership, and your example.
Thank you, Dave. It's really been I hope you get out to the San Francisco Bay Area. I would love to meet you in person. It's been a privilege and an honor to be on your program. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person as well. For everyone tuning in, if this conversation moved you, share it. Don't just listen to it, amplify it, get it out there. These stories need to be heard. These lessons could save lives. Stay focused, stay winning. God bless you, and thank you for listening.